Over the last couple of days, we have been watching a few altcoin charts, really, just kind of timing out some solid buy opportunities. And XDC has been one that's been in a downtrend formation, hitting a major demand zone. And we've been waiting for the impulse to move off of that demand zone. We've been watching these charts closely. Now, the biggest thing about XDC on these lows, after it hit that 10-cent level and went into the downtrend, is that now with a reversal in mind, what could that look like? Well, number one, we could target the 10-cent zone recently, right? This has been major resistance. After we break that 10-cent zone, we will target the January highs of around almost 16 cents. And then after that is broken, the 2021 highs are the only thing that is left on the chart before we go into price discovery. I think that XDC is incredibly bullish at this point. And I feel like a lot of people are just not paying attention to what's been happening around XDC over the last couple months. And in this video, I want to go over a few things. I want to go over some of the recent announcements. I want to go over the recent listings. I want to go over everything that's telling me that XDC is going to be an incredible opportunity this cycle. So let's start off with the price chart, because I am recording this a little bit ahead of time, but just looking at this on the weekly, we did tap the blue zone perfectly. This was a perfect retest of all of that resistance going back to April through even the beginning of May. We hit this blue zone. So far, we're starting to see a reversal. I want to see a little bit more before we fully confirm that this is bottomed out and that this impulsive move is going to start happening. But so far, we are seeing some nice, strong reactions off of the lows. This is what the daily looks like. We kind of built out a floor around these levels down here. Perfect demand zone hit. Now on the daily, what I'm waiting for is a reversal and a break over 8.5 cents. If we could see that, then I do think that this bottom is essentially confirmed being in on XDC, and we should see a retest of almost 10.5 cents, which will be the retest of the July high. And then if we could break over that level, then we will be targeting the January highs of around almost 16 cents. Now, just like I said, the second that we start to break over these highs, we create bullish structure, because this is our low, this will be our higher low. If we break over this high, we will create a higher high, probably somewhere between like 12 and 14 cents. And then if we could continue to break out and break over this high from January, that will be a macro higher time frame break and a macro higher high on the chart, which means that XDC is incredibly bullish during that time, which tells us that 19.5 cents, or our all-time high going back to August of 2021, is going to be hit and broken over, leading XDC into price discovery where, we could technically target almost $1 on XDC. It wouldn't surprise me at all. I've always given you guys my insight here. I'm expecting at least 80 cents this cycle. If we can manage to break over these levels, that would be almost a 10x from where we are currently trading at right now, which I think is a pretty fair valuation for XDC as well. But we have to wait and see what happens here. We have to watch the chart to confirm this is, the bottom and that a reversal is happening. But so far, we have some pretty good price action on XDC. Now, let's talk about why I do think that XDC deserves the 80, cent to like $1 price tag on it. Because if we're thinking about that, the fully diluted value of XDC, if we hit like $1, would be about $38 billion. Does XDC have, everything behind it that really ensures a $38 billion fully diluted value price tag? Well, let's go over here real quick, because we've been talking about a few things that XDC is starting to really target. Number one, DeFi. DeFi is a big one. And we have here from Bitcoin.com news. This is a huge platform, by the way, guys. They have 3.2 million followers. From trade finance to DeFi, an interview on XDC Network strategic investment in Kasu Finance. Now, this was with Sean of the Web3. He actually did send this over to me because I did miss this, but I'm glad that he sent it over to me, because we have here, Kasu is thrilled to announce a $1 million strategic investment from leading trade finance chain XDC Network. Native XDC integration, seamless stables, real yield, liquid wrapper, plus top-tier institutional deal flow, onwards and upwards. Now, here we have the announcement. Down here is the interview. If you guys do want to go check this out and read this, you guys are more than welcome to. There's a few things I do want to talk about in this interview that I will put a spotlight on. But here we have the announcement. So in the rapidly evolving landscape of RWAs and decentralized finance, partnerships between blockchain networks and innovative credit platforms are paving the way for more accessible, compliant, and high-yield opportunities. XDC Network, a layer 1 EVM leader in hybrid blockchain solutions for global trade and finance, announces a $1 million investment in Kasoo Finance through its VC arm, XDC Ventures. This move not only anchors Kasoo's latest funding round, but also signals deeper collaboration in on-chain private credit. To explore the implications, we spoke with Luke Lam, founder of Kasoo Finance. I hope that I'm saying that name correctly. And then also XDC Ventures Manager, and Sean White, Australian Ecosystem Business Development Manager for XDC Network. Their insights highlight how this alliance is bridging traditional finance and DeFi while positioning both entities at the forefront of institutional grade yield generation. Now, just a few things, right? We could see the broader image here for, XDC. We have our investment in Kasoo reflects our strong conviction in the growth of real-world assets on chain. Deploying private credit assets on XDC, such as receivables financing, opens high-quality yield opportunities for lenders. We look forward to helping Kasoo scale these strategies on XDC, strengthening our ecosystem as the leading settlement layer for real-world finance. Then also down here that we are thrilled to welcome XDC as both a strategic investor and a long-term partner. Their trade finance focus, RWA native infrastructure, and global network make them a perfect match for Kasoo's mission to unify TradFi and DeFi compliantly. So very excited about that side. I mean, DeFi itself, I feel like DeFi on XDC has been kind of boring. So I'm very excited about this. I think that this is going to really open up the DeFi market for XDC. Even with the recent Circle news with XDC, I think that that's going to really scale the operations around DeFi too, and even RWA tokenization. Now, we have here that this opens the door to seamless participation in Kasoo's programmable credit infrastructure, which currently includes a $40 million senior lending facility, and over $500 million in institutional interest. And then also, how does membership in organizations like the ITFA enhance this partnership? Well, these big players around trade finance, they can tap into this in a big way. Kasoo Finance has recently been accepted into the prestigious TFDI working group, unlocking further technical alignments and global business synergies, because again, these are all big players that are kind of collaborating around this. This also unlocks lending and borrowing use cases potentially, which could be easily tapped in through these organizations. And then we also have, through this partnership, the XDC network ecosystem will support Kasoo's expansion by facilitating introductions to new credit originators within the global trade finance ecosystem, because credit is a big deal. Credit marketplaces are going to be crucial for this. And what this really will do is create new yield pathways for stablecoin depositors and giving originators access to programmable liquidity via DeFi. So if we're thinking about this, right, all of these announcements that we are starting to see, even with the Circle one, all of them pertain back to what XDC originally is trying to do, which is disrupting and making efficient the trade finance space. This is all through DeFi, tokenization, even payments, cross-border payments, right? All of this has a hand to play in one another. So I'm very excited about this. I think that this is huge. And like I said, it supports the original view of XDC. Now, also, 21 Shares put out a great report on XDC's top 5 DeFi protocols. This is the TVL between all of them. So we have DeFi on XDC is growing fast, but which protocols are leading the way? Here we have all of them, right? Comtech Gold, $12 million in TVL. Prime Staking, almost another $12 million here. Phantom, about almost 8 million. Then XSwap Protocol, almost like 2.5 million. Libre Capital, about $1.23 million. So overall, we have almost like $30 million tied to DeFi on XDC. It's not much, but it is a good start. And now with a lot of these expansions with the Circle one, with Kasoo, I think that this number is going to grow drastically, especially with increased liquidity. I think liquidity is such a crucial piece of the puzzle for DeFi. So I think that this is exciting to see. And also, we did see XDC get added to Chainlink CCIP. This is a new chain that got added. So I think that this is going to also be a big deal for, trade finance, DeFi, and even tokenization to really see, increased data that's, reliable, trustworthy. And yeah, I think that this is another big announcement around XDC to really kind of focus on, along with the DeFi expansion, trade finance expansion, stablecoin expansion. It kind of feels like XDC is just making a ton of noise at this point, and it kind of goes all the way back to even, July, right? July, we saw Binance US add XDC support. This was a huge listing, and we kind of thought that it was going to stop there. Like, all right, maybe Binance list XDC, sure. But then Tokenizer put out a great post, and this was back on August 22nd. So we have here a reminder that XDC is up 3x from the 2024 low levels. And during the November ISO run, we saw it go as far as 6.5x. We're doing all of this and more without any T1s. Coinbase, Binance, Kraken, OKX, everything's purely been powered on tokenizing global trade. Most of the other, ISOs are on T1s already. Put the pieces together and think about what happens when real global trade utility like XDC hits mass markets. And this is also why I've said that XDC is like one of the cheapest utility-based projects in the space. Like, this is the most undervalued utility-based network in the space because not a lot of people are focused on it. And yeah, there's not a lot of T1 exchange listings for XDC. I mean, even if we look at the markets right now for XDC, it's not on any T1s until now, right? Kraken just announced on the 28th, coming soon, XDC on Kraken. This is extremely exciting because if we think about Kraken, Kraken is a top 15 exchange. They are a T1 exchange as well. They have 1.6 million weekly visits, $1.4 billion tied to them. You could already see that, Kraken is number 9 on this list around the top exchanges. Just imagine what happens next. I do think that Binance lists XDC. It makes a lot of sense. We were already on Binance US. Binance is just kind of playing the waiting game, in my opinion. Binance will be a huge one because they have 11.4 million weekly visits and $22.8 billion in trading volume. Coinbase, guys, Coinbase has only 43,000 weekly visits. It's kind of crazy to see this. Kind of shows us that, retail is not here in a huge way as well. But $3.2 billion tied to it. I do think that a Coinbase listing will happen as well, but we already have Kraken here. Binance is playing the waiting game. Coinbase and OKX, they also probably list XDC at some point, but all of this noise is getting made around XDC, and still XDC has a market cap of 1.41 billion. Just to kind of show you guys real quick, I want to open up a new tab and I want to just grab XRP. I'm going to grab XLM. I'm going to grab HBAR as well. And even if we scroll down the list, there's not a lot of other ones outside of like Algorand that I could grab. We'll just grab those ones, right? Just kind of comparing this side by side. XDC has a market cap of 1.41 billion. XRP has a market cap of $170 billion. XLM has a market cap of $11.56 billion. HBAR has a market cap of $9.37 billion. Algorand has a market cap of $2 billion. Algorand is not too far ahead of XDC, but it kind of just shows us how undervalued XDC is compared to these top utility-based projects, and XDC has a tremendous amount of utility tied to it as well. And I would say that, like, even just going off of HBAR's market cap, right, that's almost, if we're looking at the market cap perspective here, guys, $8 billion added to the market cap almost would be needed to just get to HBAR's level. We're at number 64 on the top 100 list. I could easily see XDC squeezing up into like the top 25. If we're thinking about the top 25, currently speaking, market cap of $6 billion, that's still a pretty significant jump on price action. But it just goes to show us like how overlooked and how undervalued XDC is currently in this market. This is why I keep saying that XDC, once people find out about how bullish XDC actually is, it's going to be too late, because I do think that the price is going to go crazy. Almost everyone hated XDC back in 2020 into 2021 until we started to see it really break out, and it went crazy. This time around, I feel like XDC's push to the upside is going to be even crazier and a lot larger than what we did back in 2020 into 2021. So lock in and pay attention to what's happening around XDC, especially around the ecosystem and the expansions that they're making, because the noise right now, it's getting pretty loud, but the price action is still very quiet. But I don't think that this is going to last forever. So definitely pay attention to what's happening here. And with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely like, subscribe, turn notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, guys, thanks for watching. Peace out, guys.